Voy a pasar un poco de español al inglés, al portuñol, al spanglish, si les queda bien, un poco de francés quizás. La primera cosa que quiero hacer es regresar a cómo empezamos el día y estar aquí presente. Y una cosa que me gusta hacer, lo hablo un poco Simone, es admitir de dónde viene el aire que respiramos. Así que quiero que cada uno de ustedes, que dejan sus teléfonos 2 segundos, que respiran 2 veces profundamente. Esta primera respiración viene de las plantas. Aquí tienen el Amazonas, el Mata Atlántica. La segunda respiración, esa viene del mar. Estamos vivos porque tenemos mar. Estamos vivos porque tenemos plantas. Así que creo que debemos cada día, como dijiste, every day remember that you are breathing. Be thankful for the air that you breathe. Si hacemos esto, creo que vamos a seguir conectados con nuestro medio ambiente. No tienes que meditar 2 horas. No tienes que hacer yoga todos los días. Si puedes, genial. Pero nada más en la mañana, o quizás a las 11:11, o quizás a mediodía, o quizás porque te estás durmiendo, porque es hora de la siesta, respira 2 veces. Y nada más este gesto te va a reconectar. Es un momento de concientización, de recordarse que todo lo que pasa en este mundo nos pasa a nosotros. Eso les pido, de hoy día en adelante, por lo menos una vez por día, 2 respiraciones conscientes. I start with this photograph because for me, I live life at what I call split level. If you take a camera right at the water's edge, or if you have your mask and you put it right at the level of water, you see what's above and what's below. And that gives you perspective. It goes back to the idea that we have been talking about from the beginning, interconnectivity. We are connected with everything. And if you love going to the water, it's fine if it's a pool. Try that. And try to see above and below and understand that there's always another side to each story and that we are connected to that. Now, I'm here in part to talk about oceans. It's perhaps expected of me because of my family, but I have a very profound connection in Brazil with what you have in your north, which is the Amazon. I'll just leave it there, and I'll take you underwater. Traceability. I just learned the word today in Spanish, rastreabilidad. Whew. Okay. It's already a very complex theme. Where does your food come from? From the moment a fish is extracted from the ocean until it's on your plate. Let's just take one example. This fish from the Bering Sea, this is where it travels to. The first point is the point of extract. It is caught out in this ocean and it is brought on a ship. Next point, it is brought to land or perhaps cleaned on a fishing boat. Then maybe it goes to Russia and is frozen. Then it heads over to China to be packaged, and then it's shipped to the United States to eat. And then you go to a restaurant and it's on your plate. How do you know what happened to that fish from the moment it left the ocean to the moment you ate it if we don't have a complete system of traceability? This is what's missing in our ocean systems. It's important for many reasons. 1, we have no idea how it was fished. 2, we have no idea who fished it. And if it's unregulated and unreported, maybe it's illegal. And if what you're getting on your plate is a fillet, how do you know what fish you're eating? Even the buyers, even the wholesalers sometimes don't know. They go and they buy their fish thinking they're buying tilapia or thinking they're buying sea bass or thinking they're buying whatever name was given to tiburon. But then you get something else on your plate. So if you lose that knowledge, if you lose that information, you lose the power of being able to make healthier decisions for yourself and healthier decisions for the ocean. So there are people working on traceability. One of the ideas is you have to have more monitoring on ships. Another one is to actually tag the food as it comes out of the ocean all the way to the supermarket or all the way to the restaurant. And being able to understand, much like you have a code on anything that you would scan in your supermarket. But here's something that to me is of grave concern. Now, these are just screen grabs from a short film. You should go online and take a look at it. What about the conditions of work for the people that brought you that food? In the high seas, there is no governance. There's nobody policing. There are no human rights organizations. There's nobody looking at the work conditions. And on these boats, you have slave labor. A lot of people from Africa buy their way onto the boat, hand over their passport, pay $200, $300 to get on one of these boats to work for several months at a time. They are out in the open seas for 3 months. There is no human rights organizations. These are the work conditions they work under. There's nobody seeing what they're getting out of the ocean. And that's the fish that we're eating. So if we don't see these work conditions, how do we know about the people that are on these boats? How do we know we're being just and we're following human rights? And this is one of the big problems. What happens is boats come from offshore. They go out to these boats that are just left out in the open seas in these conditions. They unload the fish. The moment you unload the fish from that boat onto another boat and you wave a different flag, it's that flag that brings in the fish. It's no longer the one that actually fished it. So the human rights conditions for me are a real concern when it comes to seafood traceability. Just 2 days ago, I was off the coast of Florida, and we were filming for a show that is yet to remain secret because I'm not really supposed to talk much about it. But it was too relevant to today not to bring this to you. Estuvimos grabando 2 días con este barco, unos pescadores de arrastre de camarón. El pescador, muy abierto, súper simpático, quería contar su historia. Quería compartir con nosotros cómo él hacía para pescar camarón. Porque nuestro interés era el bycatch. ¿Qué pasa cuando usted va a pescar una cosa? ¿Qué pasa con lo demás que está en la red? El problema es que hay muchas cosas. Cuando una red de arrastre lo dejan abajo, arrastran todo. La red no sabe, usted es un camarón. No, usted es un pescado. No, la red atrapa todo. Lo que pasa es que todo eso sube hacia el barco, se llama bycatch, refugio. Y eso es lo que hay en la red. Pero este pescador estaba buscando camarón. Si ven muy cerca esta foto, no hay camarón. Bueno, el camarón la ellos sacaron, pero hay pescado. There are sea stars, mantis shrimp, soft coral, lizard fish. All of that dead for no reason. Even squid, which is edible. But if you have 2 squid in your net, what are you going to do with it? So all of that goes back in the ocean dead. For what? For a handful of shrimp. So how much is our food worth it to us? And what is the cost to the rest of life in our oceans? But there are solutions. And there are fishermen who are trying to do it right. And I think it's our responsibility to support them. Because they supply the food. So they aren't the enemy. They are our way to a solution. And this person really inspired me just 2 days ago to think more about having those conversations with those fishermen and asking them why it is that they're interested in it. So every day, about 183 million kilos of marine life, 183 million kilos of marine life is pulled out of the ocean every single day, and 40% of that is bycatch. The fishermen may want to take that bycatch. Some of it might be useful, but they may not have a permit for it. So they have to throw it back in the ocean. Some of those animals live, but for the most part they don't. Either because they're exhausted from the fight against the net or because they're already dead. Large animals are bycatch. Dolphins, whales, turtles, sharks. And of the 100 million sharks that are caught every year, 50% are caught in nets, unwanted. So what are the solutions to this? First of all, better reporting. Establishing and enforcing catch and bycatch limits, implementing technology. Everything that you see here, these are all possibilities of what we can offer, but we need to be able to support the fishermen to do that. Now, something that we were trying to film underwater on this unnamed shark show, we were trying to look at what are the ways that we can continue giving livelihood to the fishermen, but that we can exclude the larger animals. And it's called TED, Turtle Exclusion Device. Now, we tried to film this underwater. We were going to send a free diver in the net to go through. Impossible. Going too fast, too risky. But the idea is, now you have to use your imagination. If this net were being pulled in the water, you have a big funnel shape. You have two doors, and this goes down on the ground. It pulls along the ground trying to catch shrimp. All the animals go in. When the bigger animals hit the grating that you see up here, they are actually excluded. So turtles, dolphins, sharks, they're all pushed out of the net, and all of the smaller catch goes on the end. So we're at least implementing solutions. And I asked the fisherman, why are you doing this? Why is it important to you? He says, well, first of all, I don't want sharks on my deck. Es un poco peligroso para nosotros también. And there's rays as well. So one, he wants to keep his crew safe. Great. I don't care what your reason is. If we're looking for the same goal, nos vamos a apoyar. He said, second of all, I actually don't want to kill these animals. I'm just trying to make a living. So talk to those people who you think are doing wrong, and you just may find a real human being in the middle of all of that. This, if you could run the video, there's no sound, so I can talk over it. This was shot in Cabo Pulmo. Hopefully it'll run for you. If it doesn't, voy a continuar a hablar igual. In Cabo Pulmo, there's a great Cabo Pulmo, Mexico. Has anybody gone there? Is anybody a diver? ¿Alguien bucea? No. Okay. Divers, snorkelers, ocean lovers. Cozumel. I'm going to send you to Cabo Pulmo still. Puerto Escondido. So Cabo Pulmo is one of those places the fishermen have actually taken action. It's a tiny village completely off the grid. Dirt roads, solar power. They do not want power. The government has said, let us build your roads. Let us pave your roads. Let us bring you electricity. And they said, no, thank you. We're very happy this way. They used to live off of the fish right offshore. And they were realizing that the fish were depleting. And two families in the village, pretty much against the rest of the village, said, we need to stop fishing. There's not going to be any more fish in this ocean for our children. Totally agree we need to live in the present. Also think we need to plan for the future. Entonces esos pescadores dijeron, no podemos seguir así pescando. Tenemos que parar de pescar para salvar nuestra vida. Durante 10 años dejaron esta zona, crearon una reserva marina con el apoyo del gobierno. Y durante 10 años no pescaron dentro de esa reserva. Ahora lo que pasó, toda la biodiversidad regresó. Y dentro de 10 años, te lo juro, de todos los lugares del mundo donde fui a bucear, jamás en mi vida pensé que estaba dentro de un acuario. Y entras aquí, lástima por el video, pero entras aquí y estás en un acuario. No es que hay tanta diferente especie, pero la cantidad de peces que hay. Y es increíble. Ahora lo que pasó, los pescados no saben, aquí es una reserva marina, aquí no. No, los pescados libres. Entonces, los pescadores del pueblo, ¿qué hacen? Pescan detrás, afuera de la reserva marina y ganan su vida. Cada día pueden pescar los que viven en el pueblo, dentro de la reserva, para dar a comer a su familia este día. Y la otra economía que llegó son personas como yo que pagan para ir a bucear. Así que todos ganamos. Y eso fue una iniciativa de una pequeñita comunidad en México que entendió que para su sobrevivencia tenían que dejar vivir. Creo que es la misma idea de eso. Vivimos en la ciudad. You can't change the reality right here of Sao Paulo. Pero se puede plantar lugares pequeñitos así de árboles. It's the same thing you can do around the world. Para mí esa inspiración, eso me lleva energía. Estuvimos hablando hoy, Alex, que está por ahí, del hecho de cada uno de nosotros, y otro Alex, que cada uno de nosotros estamos en nuestra oficina, tras la computadora, trabajando, luchando para proteger el mundo, proteger agua, proteger selva, proteger indígena, proteger esto, otro, es una locura, solitos, detrás del teléfono, media social. Necesitamos la comunidad para saber que no somos solos. Que esta colaboración, del hecho de que ustedes dos, Felipe, no sé, por allí, nos llevaron acá para hablar de todo eso, es la comunidad que formamos. Porque somos más fuertes juntos. Somos más fuertes entre sector privado, sociedad civil, ONGs, grupos indígenas. Trabajando juntos podemos, porque cada persona tiene una parte of the puzzle. Quiero cerrar con la misma cosa que hicimos, 2 respiraciones. Y para ustedes que tienen zapatos donde pueden quitarlos, porque una persona muy inteligente me dijo, Céline, tú necesitas la naturaleza para tu energía. De vez en cuando es súper bueno quitar los zapatos. Aunque estamos adentro con carpet, una palabra que nunca aprendí en español. Gracias, alfombra. Es muy bueno sentir. No hay que tener miedo a sentir. Que sea bajo los pies, que sea en el corazón, la cabeza también siente. Y que toma 2 respiraciones, entendiendo bien que estamos aquí como una planta. Let your roots grow. Breathe in the air and just appreciate what we have. And fight like hell every day and be grateful. Thank you.